Hello students, welcome to our last section of Chapter 1, Programming Style. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. Recall that everything we've done when writing code up to this point. So strings, variables, everything like that. Alright, let's say, just for example, you didn't finish a program during the hour, and you need to come back to finish it. However, you ran into the dilemma of, oh, I forgot what this code does. And while our programs right now are pretty simple, later down the road when they start becoming more complex, this could be potentially an issue you run into. Today we're going to examine how to remedy that issue and look at some other styling conventions that you should practice in Java. First thing we're going to talk about is naming of constants. A constant is a predefined number. All right. The problem with numbers in a computer program is that the number by itself usually carries no significance. Now, to avoid duplication of contents and to give them a defined meaning, we usually initialize a variable to that numeric value. So here I have int numeric underscore value equals 10. Note, when we're naming constants, all the letters in the variable name are uppercase with an underscore between words. The problem, though, with constants, right, is that their issue, as you know, is that you might accidentally change the value of that variable. If we look back, it just says int numeric value equals 10. There's nothing that says I can't accidentally say numeric value equals 7. Nothing that says I can't change that. So, to avoid this, we're going to initialize a constant with the following. We're going to add in front of that public static final type variable equals constant. So we add the phrase public static final in front of it. So let's use our previous example. So here I have public static final int numeric value equals 10. What that will do is that it's going to keep it from being changed. Additionally, it must be placed outside the main method. So if you recall, I said at the beginning of this course, I said most of what we're going to do at the beginning is going to be inside of the main method. Everything should be in there. Well, here's our first thing that we're going to learn about that does not go there. It still has to be within inside of your class, but it does not go inside your main method. It has to be outside of it. All right, so here's how that code looks. Public class hello world, public static final double interest rate equals 2.5, public static void main string args, double balance equals 10, comma interest equals balance times interest rate divided by 100. System.println on a balance of $ plus balance. System.println you will earn interest of $ plus interest. System.println all in just one short year. And here's what that would look like if I were to run that program. On a balance of $100, you earn interest of 2.5, all in just one short year. All right, commenting. This is not saying you're commenting to me on this stuff. Instead, you're going to be commenting in your own program. Comments, though, are just that. They're notes left by the programmer to identify what code does. To start a comment, we're just going to type // and that's the slash, and if you notice, it's not a backslash, it's a // so it's the one right next to your shift key usually. It's right, it has the question mark above it. This is what's known as a line or an inline comment. Right? Anything after that slash is ignored on that line. It doesn't affect what happens in the next line of code, just that line of code. Now, if we want to do a block comment, and a block comment comments out several lines of code, we use ** or /* to start and */ to close. Right? And the advantage of using a block comment is if I want to comment out, let's say 4 to 5 lines of code, I can do that with a block comment rather than having to go and do // for each and every single line. Because let's say you're commenting out now, let's say 20 lines of code. And could you imagine having to do 20 times going // // Yeah, it may not seem like much, but when you start commenting out large blocks for things like troubleshooting, it can get tedious. Whereas if you just do a block comment, you're done a lot quicker. So here's just a quick example of how you would put that in there. It says this is a block comment. Note there is no comment symbol on this line. The ending symbol is on this line. So if you notice in that little bit of piece there, it doesn't even have to necessarily be code. I can just put text like I have here because it's just a comment, right? And the star affects everything in your program up until that */. So I can put any kind of things there. Notice that second line has no code in it. There's no comment symbol right in front of it because it's all contained inside the block comment. All right, let's talk about when to comment. Generally, the // or line comments are left by the programmer. Block comments are usually used for things like Java docs or large amounts of code that you may comment out when debugging. Now, commenting every line of code is considered impractical and fills your program with obvious statements. So, for example, here I have interest equals balance rate, computes the interest. Obviously we know it's like, okay, this is going to find the interest. It seems pretty self-explanatory. A well-written program is also going to include things like self-documentation. This means that your comments are obvious comments like the one above. Now, our programs to start off are relatively kind of simple at the moment. So we're going to have simple comments for the time being. So we will have things like computes the interest. Right? Later on, as we get into more advanced coding, yeah, you can start dropping a lot of these like self-explanatory comments. Like we're going to have a lot of like the system.println statements. You should comment those. What is it printing out? And that helps me as the instructor know, do you actually understand what this is? Because you have to write the comment that's going to describe what the code is doing. Indentation. As we delve deeper into Java, we will cover more on indentation. All right. Generally, for each structure you nest inside another, you will increase by one indent, or tabbing off your keyboard. Because we work in clips, much of the indentation is already going to be done for us. However, it is not perfect. All right. Sometimes you can if you're a person that likes to copy and paste stuff, it can kind of mess with your indentation a little bit. So you need to make sure you're increasing or decreasing your indent accordingly. And the reason why we indent is not just because it makes our code easier to read, but it's also going to make it easier to debug, because if everything's lined up that's on the same level, or these different nest structures, it's going to be easier for you to look at and say, hey, what is the placement for that? All right, we have reached the self-test portion. So number 1, what are the 2 kinds of comments in Java? Number 2, what is the output produced by the following code? /*, code for exercise, // system.println, quote, hello, // system.println, Mr. or Miss, quote, system.println, student. Number 3, what is the normal spelling convention for named constants? Number 4, write the code that will give the name answer to the int value 42. In other words, make answer a constant for 42. And that concludes this lesson, ladies and gentlemen.